You look different. You got a different hat on. I love it.
Yeah. So
I'll take your
this
leave.
is just
Okay,
yeah.
Dr.
It
Gupta.
was nice to hear you, Dr. Rajat. So the
Thank you, sir.
valid point I was listening when I was on backstage. So I think for the pain management, it is nowadays it is a very good field if you can take care of the patient's pain. Thank you so much, Dr. Rajat.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. And thank you for sharing with us some of these great ideas because,
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you're sitting at home in pain, it's hard to motivate. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
yeah.
Hey,
Hi, Dr. Rahul,
Dr. Raul and Dr. Sagu. I feel so blessed
Hi.
Rakesh,
surrounded
Rakesh
by
ji,
doctors.
Rakesh ji, Ankit, and Ken. Yeah, how are you?
Yes.
How are
Anyway,
you doing?
doing great. It's Friday, right? I don't know one day from the other anymore, but how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I went through a small procedure a few days back. That's why I was absent. I was not able to come on online.
So you're healthy now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So
Right.
did you shave your beard or something? Cut your beard, or
No, no. I never shaved my beard
you never shave your
in
beard?
my. I never shaved my beard in my life.
Okay, but did you
I
trim? You look different today. You just look different.
because of the turban. Because
Okay,
today I'm
okay.
wearing the cap.
You
It's
wear
a
it again.
surgical cap which we use. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah, no. So I like the surgical cap. It's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah.
So you doing surgery today?
Yeah, I did yesterday also and day before yesterday also, and I tried not to wear the turban nowadays while going to my OTs and all, so that because we have to wash everything whenever we came from the OT and from the hospital, so that is why the cap can easily be managed. So that is the only reason that I put my cap. After so many years, this cap is from American College of Surgeons, Chicago, when I was doing fellowship over there.
No. So tell us some of the things that you're seeing recently. It looks like maybe COVID is not slowing down, but we hear that there's 2 more weeks of shutdown. But what are some of the things in your life that are turning around now?
I think
Okay.
Ready.
So we can switch back to Dr. Raoul because he was kind of here first anyway. So Dr. Raoul, share with us what's going on.
See, with respect to COVID, the doubling time in India has increased to 12.5 days now. Okay, we are on a way of partial lockdown resolution procedures. I don't know how successful we would be, but the government has taken a stand to bring down the lockdown now in the city all across in a graded fashion. See, this is important because the economy cannot be left to be stagnancy. We all need to start living with the virus, with the adequate safety precautions, with a proper positive attitude, and we have moved some proposals to the ICMR on our own personal capacity. They are under consideration by the ICMR.
No, I agree. I think this is something that we've been talking about for a while now, that we just have to learn to start living with it. But I think we had to get it under control and figure it out because we didn't want such a high death rate like we have in the U.S. right now, which is still concerning to me that we are still experiencing such an incline that we haven't even come. They keep saying, "Oh, we're plateauing." We're still doing this. I don't see how the numbers are going up that we've plateaued any at all. But you know, it's keeping the mindset, the people from going crazy. I think Dr. Saguma brought this up too. A few weeks ago that we just have to mentally stay well now, not just physically. But and those are the good conversations we need to be having. Is those things. I mean, we've talked about our good standards of washing our hands. How do you wash your
Yeah,
hands? Um,
yeah,
you know, the difference between wearing a mask and not wearing a mask. Why is it
Yeah,
important?
Yes.
There was such a big controversy, but I think people didn't understand that it wasn't about protecting you. It was more about protecting other people from what you might have. But um, and I'll address Dr. Scoop with this question, and then you. But do you foresee us re-entering with masks, but maybe in the future that mask won't be as necessary?
Uh,
yeah,
don't think so much. If the ventilation is maintained well, the aeration of the rooms are well, I don't think so. Wearing a mask will or not wearing a mask will make a much of a difference because the viral particles are not known to aggregate. In a breezy atmosphere, they are just known to disseminate in the atmosphere, and that is what is important. There is a loading dose of virus, which is important to infect a person. If the room is well ventilated, right, they've shown on thermal cameras the loading dose is not reached as compared to a closed room, which is an air conditioned room. There, your masks will play a role because of no breezy air, the viral particles will remain in air and they can travel a distance of more than 4 meters in a closed controlled environment. So there, I would suggest we will need a mask because we have definite evidence by infrared cameras. And in a breezy atmosphere, I don't think so. We will require a mask. We can just enjoy fresh air, which is being formed
I
because of
do that now.
lack of pollution.
I go out in my backyard, but there's nobody around me for 2 or 3 acres. So the only thing I have are deer, foxes, raccoons. So I don't, unless they're contagious and have something. The worst thing that we feared out here were ticks and
Hmm.
snakes. But Dr. Sagoo, what are your thoughts on that? I guess it's important for reentry maybe to do masks, but um, what are your thoughts on that?
yeah. I would definitely agree with Dr. Rahul, which he has made the comment about the lifting up of the lockdown and changing the lifestyle. And we need to change the lifestyle forever, I think, now, from now. And if you are sitting in a room, in a house, and your room is very well ventilated and there is no AC is not on, it's not a closed room, I don't think you need to wear the mask. But yes, whenever you go out, you should wear a mask now. So the mask would definitely would be compulsory now while going out to protect yourself and you protect the others also.
I agree. And
Yeah,
we're talking about just learning to live with it, but that's improving our health. And I'm thinking maybe we can develop together as a team an app that we can allow people to have to help develop better eating habits,
Hmm.
reduce obesity, and increase immunity, right? And I think that this would be
yeah.
very, very important.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, the lifestyle change has to be everywhere, whether it is a eating habit, whether it is a physical activity habit, whether it is a sleeping habit, whether it is a mental habit, whether it is, I mean, meeting habits also, consulting habits also. So each and everything, the I mean, concept for everything, protocol for everything is going to change now. And I think we should live with the virus and we should live with the new lifestyle changes, right? It is very important. So because obesity is going to be a very very dangerous now. It's a risky factor if we talk about the diabetes, hypertension, other chronic disorders. If we talk about the even COVID also, because the obesity is going to compromise your lungs. Would Dr. Rahul would agree with me? So because of
Yes.
compromisation of the lungs, your lower lobe of the lungs, they are compromised
Hmm.
because of the obesity, because you are not able to breathe out and breathe in properly. You are doing some shallow breathing, you are not
Hmm.
doing the deep breathing. So when the deep breathing is not there, the bottom of your lungs, they are not opening up well. So when the bottom of the lungs, they are not going to opening up well, so they are going to invite lot of things, not only the disease related to the lungs, disease related to everything. So many things are going to be there when the obesity is there. And obesity is always a man made. The obesity, we are the only culprit for that. It is a man made.
You're
It
right.
is it. Yeah, yeah,
Thank you. And you know what I get frustrated about is they'll put people who are highly obese on disability checks here, right? Where they can get disability checks. And I go, but they brought this on themselves. It was hard for me to, in fact, I never got disability, and that might have been a blessing because I work and my mind stays preoccupied. Like we talked, that's a good thing. But obesity is man made. That is a man
Yeah,
disease. And
yeah.
we
So
need to fix
uh,
that.
we we are fighting with the pandemic, the COVID pandemic, but we already have a obesity pandemic. So do we need to fight with this obesity pandemic, which is man-made?
And we're dealing with, like you said, the obesity and the lungs. We've got two great experts here to talk about these two things. But when you are healthier and you're breathing healthier and you're filling your body in full capacity of all the oxygen it needs, all the hydration it needs, you don't need all that junk food. You don't
Yeah,
you don't feed it all of that comfort junk food when you're exercising right, your lungs are feeling good, your heart's feeling good. You don't need the bad food. And I don't think people see that. They don't recognize that.
yeah. I think with the economic background now, because the economy is going down, so the choices from the unhealthy food will directly come to the healthy foods.
Do
The
you think
choices from the restaurant made food will go to the homemade food.
But
The
Dr.
choices for a lot of cars and everything will go to now the walking. We can go to the bicycle also. So I mean, this pandemic is going to change, and you never know. Maybe good for the pandemic which we are already fighting, that is obesity.
well, I
But
think
Dr. Saggu, do you think that those people who are doing those fast food chains and they are creating those foods for us, both on television as well as on the real restaurant, they will come up with an idea and to sell those food at a cheaper price because it's difficult to get healthy food at a good price,
it
but
is.
you'll get those food at a very very low cost. And I think Mansi would agree to me because she manages the mental side of the uh, things. So how people will decide because they watch those McDonald's ads on regularly on television and they don't see doctors on television, but those McDonald's and those pizzas are also on television whenever you go on it. It's difficult to unlearn things and then buy those healthy food. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's very true. It's like, they'll start offering salad free with fries, and that doesn't help us at all. You know what I mean? I mean, in the larger aspect of public health, that is just unhealthy eating. And they are businesses. At the end of the day, they are going to obviously come up with ideas to try and sell, what they stand for. So that's always going to be there. But I think Doctor here is right. Dr. Saggu here is right when he says that people are going to have to bring healthy choices of lifestyle and food because it is it's part of all that immunity growth of the system, which is being promoted on so many platforms at the moment. Um, so I'm personally a pharmacist and a mental health advocate. So in while dealing, on a mental health platform as well, we have so many discussions where we talk about how the immunity goes down when people are in a lot of stress, which is currently the case anyway because of so many people losing jobs. There is so much uncertainty over so many things in life. So I think food is going to play a major role in each and every area. And with respect to immunity, especially, I mean, there are so many Ayurvedic formulations coming up as well who claim, to make up for the immune system. So I think food will be a major, there will be a major change in the type of food moving forward now after the, seeing the pandemic effect. People will understand that in a better way that we need to take care of our, lifestyle and food.
Yeah, I agree. I think the way we start eating, I think breathing in more, filling our lungs at more full
Yeah.
capacity. We fulfill our bodies and minds. I think we need less junk food, but junk food's so cheap. Here it's
Yeah,
competing
and
with kids with a bag of chips
yeah,
a lot
But
cheaper.
I have a question from all the doctors because whenever you visit a hospital, you'll find junk foods available at hospital as well. Sorry to say,
Yeah.
but why we don't have a why we don't counter that? Because I mean I know that there are healthy foods as well, but there are a lot of food which is not good for health, but that is not available around hospitals as well. So, Dr. Rahul,
So,
do you want to say something?
yeah,
See, Ankit, one has to make a strong balance between the kind of food the people would like to eat and a healthy food stuff, right? You just cannot pump in a food which is healthy into somebody who's not willing to take or eat it, right? So, based on people's choice, after all, at the end of the day, the cafeteria is a business. They have to earn
Yeah,
profits to make the things running. So, they will keep the food which the public will want to eat rather than which is healthier for them to eat, right? So the way we educate the people in our health sessions, like health checkups, will play a vital role in helping the people to make a good choice of food. Ankit, now taking you slightly off the track. If I tell you we don't have to live with COVID for a long time, what would you say?
I will just
You
follow
do,
your guidance.
Yeah. The reason why I'm trying to tell you this is by scanning the research papers recently, we have come across something very good from the country of United States of America.
Yeah,
Very strong research has come up to show us that UVC lights of 222 nanometers, far wave UVC lights, have known to destroy the virus but have not known to cause cancerous lesions on the skin. There are ample of white papers published on this right now. And deploying UVC in a controlled and a graded fashion, that is what we are looking in our setups right now, feasibility of deploying UVC lights and disrupting the chain of virus transmission. And I'm already talking to a lot of people in United States, my friends. They have deployed it, they have found it useful. In India, in our center, we are trying to deploy it and destroy the chain of transmission of this virus. Once we have that achieved, I don't think so we'll have to live with COVID for a long time. Gone are the days of old time sodium hypochlorite solution, formaldehyde to be used as disinfectants.
okay.
Now, the this virus pandemic has changed the way we think.
Yeah,
It has changed a lot of things in our practice, and we are forced to adapt. See, earlier UVC lights were recommended by WHO for TB sterilization, and what WHO websites mentioned, but we were so resistant to adopt them because there are so many other choices available with us. Now this virus has virtually eliminated the rest of the choices for us, except this choice which remains. So
so you
there's
will see
already
UV
a
lights. You will see UV lights containing all those contamination area, or I mean, how you will be using it?
see,
Yeah,
see
I'm curious about that.
yes,
That's interesting to
Yeah,
me because
yes.
I know about the germicidal
See,
lasers
See,
because I
what I have proposed in our setup is identify the zones of high contamination first by taking swabs. Where the zones of high contamination are there, the UV lights will be placed close to the floor because it has been shown this virus does not remain suspended in air for a long time. It settles on the floor, settles on the surface. So
okay,
those surfaces will be taken care of first. Second thing, we are trying to get in touch with the US producers, the makers of this UV light, and get in touch with them for solutions to a CT scan department or radiology department, waiting areas where these lamps can just be put on, 24 by 7 hours a day, and sufficient disinfection can be achieved. Mind you, the UV lamps which are available on the internet website, though they mention 222 wavelength, right? It's not 222 nm, it's 222 volts. And when you see the specifications, it's either 286, 350 nanometers, which is harmful to the skin because we are doing a lot of search in this area because we quickly want to come out with a remedy before it strikes to rain. The first rain hits the city of Mumbai.
no, that's interesting. I love this research and technology with the
yeah,
ultraviolet. Dr.
yeah. Dr. Rahul, I have a question. So,
Yes, sir.
don't you think living with the COVID would be better than living with the lot of side effect of the UV light? Because
Sir,
this
yes.
this this is the new addition of the family. The COVID-19 is a new addition to the family. You have seen the SARS has come, the influenza has come, HIV has come, HBs antigen has come. A lot of viruses has come,
Hmm.
and they have become the member of the family. So right now, pandemic is because we don't have anything against or anything to fight with this COVID-19. Once we get the vaccines, once we get the drugs, when we get the hard immunity against this virus, and this would be a normal virus like an influenza virus. So why to use the UV lights for this COVID-19, because UV lights itself, it has a lot of side effects. It can lead to a lot of skin conditions also. It can lead to burning of the eyes, burning of the cornea. There is a lot of corneal diseases there. So if we can do the simple preventive measures like hand washing, because soap and water is the best method now. I mean, you don't need a sanitizer also. So if we are doing the social distancing, if we are disinfecting the walls by the sodium hypochlorite, so would you think that UV light would be better, and it will not harm our life, and it will not cause some other diseases which we are not aware of right now?
Good question, Dr. Saggu. Let me answer this question. Sodium hypochlorite and all our man-made measures will suffice only till the rain does not start falling. Once the
Yeah, yeah,
monsoon sets in, there will be a mayhem,
yeah,
right? And it's very difficult to maintain cleanliness. Number one.
yeah.
Number two, categorically since 2017, it has been shown by the UV light research that the wavelength of 222 nanometers and less nanometers, right, have no penetration virtually to human skin. Okay, sir. Now, what is the problem is we have never used 22 nanometers for the extensive general purpose. What we have used is 258 nanometers, 350 nanometers for
Yeah,
germicidal purposes, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So those are having a good penetration stratum corneum, and they can cause what you have said, sir. But 222 nanometers have been tried extensively by people in a controlled environment, and they have found that it does not penetrate the human skin and does not cause any carcinogenic effects. There's no keratitis on the cornea. So
yeah,
my question to myself is, would I change the way I think, break down the
yeah,
traditional locks, and adapt to something which is beneficial for my people? See, because all said and done, it is very difficult to maintain a clean environment in our country, sir.
yeah,
Whatever
yeah.
hypochlorite you use, whatever disinfectant you use, sir. And
Yeah.
putting a UV lamp is just very simple. Just a button switched on, it functions like a normal
Okay.
bulb, right,
Yeah,
sir? And the
yeah,
amount of radiation released, you see, what is important is from the source where you buy your UV lamps from. If you buy from
yeah,
Alibaba or other sites, they put there
yeah,
222 nanometers. But in down,
yeah,
if you read the specification, it is not 222 nanometers, it's 250, 280, 350, 360 nanometers, right? So
yeah,
exactly the sellers are playing away with our psychology to give us a higher dose of
yeah, maybe.
radiation.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, that may be true. So my concern is, I mean, I don't think we need to have a cleanliness and everything, all the measures which we are
Yes,
following
sir.
right now for the long period. Maybe like, influenza is now. We are not following any measures against influenza. So even the influenza is coming and going. So maybe the
Yes.
COVID-19 will be also coming and going. Even during this pandemic also, around
Mm-hmm.
80% patients, they were asymptomatic or mild. Even a lot of asymptomatic patients, they are getting this COVID-19, and they're fighting well because their defense system, their immunity is very good. So it is
Mm-hmm.
coming and going. I don't think it would be of great worry until unless you don't have a major uncontrolled disease, you don't have a respiratory compromise, you don't have a cardiopulmonary compromise. So that was my concern. I think you're the best concern and expert for that. So thank you so
So
much.
may I try to value your question a bit
Yeah,
further?
yeah,
The reproductive index R factor for this COVID virus is 2. In 10 cycles, it can infect 2,000 people. That is the
yeah, yeah,
contagiousity of this disease. As against
yeah, yeah,
influenza virus, it can only infect
yeah,
20 or 30 people in 10
And people.
reproduction
Yeah.
cycles.
yeah,
And
yeah,
another thing is this virus has mutated 30 times now. There are
yeah,
more than 341 species as on record online of this virus itself. This virus is known to transmit to the animals. Also, now
yeah,
tiger was one published. Dogs are another whole reservoirs for this. So, sir, in the virus which is strongly mutant, number one,
yeah, yeah,
where your
yeah,
therapies are known to fail very quickly. See, we have
yeah,
always been hearing that the therapy has come for this virus, then we find out the therapy has failed in this virus. There's
yeah,
always a
yeah,
series of coming of drugs and going of drugs. If you carefully look at the research protocols, also, we have lost drugs very quickly. For such a disease where we are losing our arsenal quickly, sir, I would rather be on an
yeah,
aggression rather
yeah,
than wait for the herd immunity to come. See, herd immunity in UK is also now not more than 4%, which would hardly
Yeah,
benefit a population.
yeah.
Save it, sir.
Because
So
I
yeah,
think
because
I think there
yeah,
is more concern for the immunocompromised patients.
yes.
They are
So
a major concern in all of this. I mean, respectfully agreeing with Dr. Rahul there that any sort of cure or any sort of therapy, while agreeing with you, Dr. Saggu, that thinking about the side effects of them at the same time. But if we have to put some, go down the aggressive road, then that is the major benefit for immunocompromised patients, I think, across the world. And I think that is a major healthcare concern right now.
but
Ma'am,
that
to
UV
add to
lamp
it,
is only for the hospitals. I think Dr. Rahul is talking about
yes, yes,
that we are
I'm
putting in the
talking.
code of the hospitals only, not
Yeah,
not at every places. So for the hospitals,
for
maybe I have not tried that. It would be good. So my concern is only that because the enemy is very strange to us now. That is unseen, we cannot see, it's invisible, and
Yeah.
we don't know the strategy of the enemy. So after
mm,
understanding the strategy of the enemy, we can make a strategy, and once the time will pass, I think we would have a good strategy. I will give you a very good example. If you are fond of cricket, there was one bowler from Sri Lanka, that is Ajanta Mendis. So he used to rotate the ball, and initially the top batsman of world, I'm talking about the world, they were having a lot of difficulties to playing that bowler. Even the Tendulkar was not able to play two balls of by Ajanta Mendis, and once
mm,
initially he took around 5 wickets in 1 over. What happened to Ajanta Mendis? After 2-3 matches, every ball was going for the six and boundaries. So initially you don't know the strategy of your enemy, but
Yeah.
once you become very understandable to the strategy of the enemy, you can play well.
agreed to you, sir. We can play well once you understand the strategy of this enemy. But looking
Yeah,
at this virus, there's so many controversial issues which I would not like to bring up on this chat show. It would be better if we talk on a personal level. This virus
yeah,
has
yeah,
eaten up our medicines like crazy stuff. Number one. Number two, the prediction of presentability is changing now every single moment. Earlier, we
Yeah.
never
yeah,
had a presentation of Guillain-Barré syndrome with this virus. Now we are having
yeah,
people coming in with acute flaccid paralysis, acute renal
yeah.
failure, for asymptomatic for a long time, sir. So, having put all the things together, what we propose is the hospitals are becoming a secondary source of contamination to the society
Yeah.
because all the viruses, people are coming to the hospital and they are shedding the
Yeah.
viruses there, and the healthcare workers are taking it back home. So, our proposal is to control the secondary source, the hospital for becoming a secondary source, and the environment will take care of itself. Like I said, a well ventilated air does not let the loading dose to accumulate,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah,
sir? So we
yeah,
need to
agree.
adopt a
Mm.
strategy in between the two, that not over dependence on UVC, because to get a pure UVC you need a monochromatic UVC lamp source. If you
Yeah,
don't
I
have a
agree.
monochromatic lamp source, you'll have UV and UVB which are toxic.
Yeah,
So like that, there's a lot of thinking to be going in to purchase this also from an appropriate source and a very standardized source. Because there's so many people, you hear tomorrow, yeah, the other day I heard ophthalmologist had made a battery, torch which would emit UVC, and who would be
yeah,
putting in patient's throat. A video
yeah,
has come out from Gujarat, right?
yeah, yeah,
So who has tested the quality of that? See, because I believe to make a lamp, you need a glass furnace, you need an
yeah,
electrode diode, you need a
Yeah.
pottery. Yeah, these things are
yeah,
not easily available in everybody's home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably our friend has borrowed the lamp from somewhere, jigsawed it into a
Yeah.
torch, and then how can you guarantee that it will only emit 222 nanometers? And we are not fooled by the way 222 nanometers of the advertisement, when it is 222 nanometers and it's building
agree,
286
agree,
nanometers.
Dr. Rahul. Fully agree with you. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
Dr. Rahul and Dr. Saggu, I'll tell you, there's an advertisement going on the television right now, and they say that if you buy a spray to wash your vegetables and fruits, you are, sanitize your virus free. And I was amazed to see such an ad. I mean, I don't understand. They are using additional chemical on top of the vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
It's,
Makes it toxic.
it's free from coronavirus. So, do you,
Y- y-
because, yeah, yes, Dr. Saggu.
the good articles, they doesn't need any type of advertisement.
Yeah. I completely agree. I mean, but
Yeah,
how can we allow these ads running? Because during this situation, I mean, everyone is following and they want to buy all the things, whatever is possible.
When you allow your liquor salesman to sell the liquor instead of giving the food, then it is, I mean, you can allow all the big companies to advertise their bad shit.
I think
Ankit, you can show the dollar again for the answer to your question. The dollar should come up.
Ankit, to tell you, Ankit, to
So
tell you,
you know
we are not
I
using
mean,
it for the first time, UVC in India. We have been using UVC at water purifying plants and other places. UVC at the
yeah,
community level has been successfully tried in Singapore.
yeah,
In China also UVC robots have been tried.
yeah,
Learning from them. We did a
Yeah.
small experiment in my friend's hospital
China,
at US.
yeah. Dr.
We did a
Rahul, Chinese UV light doesn't have any nanometer, and you
sir,
cannot
but
prove that also. They,
no, let me come to you. We have always we will sir, we don't take them at the face value. We
yes, yes,
learn,
yes,
adapt to a true thing. But
yeah,
nevertheless, they have come out with
yeah,
the greatest number of such papers, right? And
yeah,
if we analyze it carefully, sir, it is very stupid on my part to wash them off as manipulated or not standardized,
yeah, sure,
because they have come up with very good treatment, sir. And the way
yeah,
the Singapore has controlled the COVID virus infection is a learning
yeah,
point for all of us
Yeah.
with
yes,
the
yes.
vast diversity
I,
we have.
I fully agree. I fully agree. The way the Singapore, the New Zealand, they have controlled this virus, I
but
think
sir,
we should learn a lesson from them.
there is a news from South Korea about some disinfections and some different disease coming up. Do you have any idea about that?
Some instances of Zika virus were reported, but
I have not
not so
from
many.
South Africa. I just try to pull it up in the meantime.
Okay.
There's
Yeah, even
they're isolating it down. I truly believe that if we could just narrow this down, do some testing, get some early detection, right? So if we can get early detection, I know all the tests are not 100%, but nothing's 100%, but it's better than doing nothing. But I think if we can get early detection, early treatments, we can reduce the infectious rates, the spreads. What do you think?
Kim, with regards to that, my proposal is already pending with the ICMR. It's moved day before yesterday night by a member of parliament to the health secretary and other people,
Congratulations.
where we have compiled a lot of study reports across the place for salivary specimen, and they are studying it. If they find it feasible, soon in India we will have nasopharyngeal swabs being replaced by salivary sample RT-PCR. And the beauty is that we don't need a different kits for salivary sample RT-PCR. The same nasopharyngeal kits can be validated for salivary sample also. So this is under process in our country right now. So if they find it valuable, they go ahead and implement it.
Well, congratulations. And I know that takes a lot of research to prepare a proposal in the medical industry. So thank you very much for your efforts. But like I said, we're all about the solutions here. We want to hear them and share them with the rest of the world, so that we can get this under control, because this isn't impacting just one country. Are you leaving?
yeah. So I
Oh,
have to leave now, please. I'll take your leave, Kim. Thank you so much,
I'm
Dr.
glad
Rahul,
you're doing
Mansi.
better.
Thank you, sir.